What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and this year we got a flail mower from WoodMax, and I've made several flail mower videos, and in many of those videos I compared it to a bush hog or a brush hog, whatever you want to call it, and I couldn't believe the amount of, I wouldn't say hate, but just the amount of comments of people that either were so pro flail mower that they didn't believe in a bush hog, or vice versa. Why would I buy a flail mower? A bush hog is better. A bush hog is just as good. You know, that doesn't cut any better than my $100 bush hog. Well, I'm not here to say whether or not one is better or one isn't. I can say when I first got the flail mower and started using it, I had to adjust to it because I've been running a bush hog for years and years. I use it for grass cutting. I use it for brush cutting. I knock over small trees with it. And I've also used a finish mower, and I've used different types of hay mowers, but I had never used a flail mower before, and it hits different. It cuts different. It needs to be set up differently. You got to run it differently. And the first day I was frustrated by it, but then I learned how to use it, and once I learned how to use it, I realized why people love it. But today's video is not to sell you a flail mower or sell you a brush hog. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I bought this when I bought that tractor from my friend. It came as a package. It's a King Cutter 5-footer with a 60 horsepower gearbox and a slip clutch. And other than that, it's your standard King Cutter brush cutter, and I paid for it. This flail mower, it came from WoodMax, and I have it open for you so we can talk about something in a minute. But it's the FM 62.8, so basically a 5-foot flail mower. It's side shift, but my tractor doesn't have rear hydraulics, so I've got it set up just to be in the middle position. And that's what we're going to be using to test today. The tractor is a Kubota L3901. I got 38 horsepower under the hood and 30 horsepower back here by the time it comes through that hydrostatic transmission. So at the PTO, I am inputting into both of these machines about 30 horsepower. And again, I'm not trying to sell you on either one. I honestly don't care which one you buy. I have a link in the description below to WoodMax if you want to buy anything from WoodMax, and I'll get commission from it. I don't even know how much commission. And I have no association with King Cutter other than I have several of their products that I have bought with my own money. But this video is about which one cuts better. We're going to go with the same exact tractor, on the same exact conditions. The grass is the same, the tractor's the same, the temperature's the same, the ground's the same, everything's the same except the mower. So we'll just see how they cut. We'll look at how the grass is laid over or not laid over, or cut cleanly or not cut cleanly. And the grass is about waist tall out there, and it's really thick Bahia grass. It's what we grow here in North Florida for hay. And it's pretty much weed free, and it's just grass, thick grass that I didn't bale. So I will link videos below to where we baled that hay, and you can see how thick it was, but that was 2 weeks ago. We've had a lot of rain since then. It's highly fertilized, so it's even thicker than that. But real quick, the differences between the mower. This is going to take horizontal power coming out of the tractor, turn it into vertical power with this gearbox, and spin 2 blades that are underneath attached to a stump jumper. So you basically have 2 blades going around at 540 RPM. Well, I don't know how fast they're going. The tractor will be 540 PTO RPM, and I don't know what the gear reduction will be there. It's just very standard. It's in good shape. I just sharpened the blades. I checked the gearbox for oil. I did a run out of the clutch to make sure the clutch is working good, and I put a new hub in this tail wheel right here. So I've got this thing tuned up, ready to go, just like it was new. And this is basically new. It only has a few hours on it. It has what's called hammer blades on it. I've cut about ½ an acre with those hammer blades. I just checked out those hammer blades. They're in great shape. And this is going to take horizontal power from the tractor, and then from a gearbox or from a chain, go from a sprocket here to a sprocket down there, and turn it back into, or continue to have it in horizontal power, just like a rototiller. And it's going to be turning either 16 or 18 of these blades. So that's the difference between the two. Same width. They're obviously not as long as each other. That's one of the things you can do with a brush hog, is you can back up under trees and stuff. Very handy. You can keep that down all the time. Once you put this down on the ground, you don't really have to pick it up. With a flail mower, it says right on it, there's a sticker, "Do not mow in reverse or damage will occur to your mower." Now, I've seen people that commented on my videos that said, I mow in reverse with my flail mower all the time. All I can say is that WoodMac says don't do it, so I'm not going to do it with their mower here. The other difference is obviously the length, but so that's good like for storage, right? This is easier to store than this. And this, if you're making your turns and stuff, is a little more compact. So that's a plus, I guess, for the flail mower and a negative for the brush hog. But at the end of the day, what difference does 3 feet make if you hate the cut, right? All right, we're at the test field, and just to show you that this grass is no joke, you can see how tall it is. It's up past the belly of the tractor, and this stuff is all gone to seed, so it is as stemmy and as difficult to cut as it can be. I'm gonna run the brush hog pretty parallel to the ground. That'll give me about the same cut as the grass that's out here, because that's what we're going to do, is we're going to mow it after that. We're done with haying for the year. And we're going to do, I don't know how many passes, but we're going to do half of this block. Over here by this oak tree, I have a pass here where we've done hay. So you'll easily be able to see that. We're going to do half of that with the brush hog and the other half with the flail mower. And like I said, all this is a demonstration. I think I know what each one will do as far as what they'll do better. I don't think that either one of them is going to handle this well at all. And I'm going to go like as fast as I can with the tractor at like 2,600 RPMs, which is 540 RPM back at the PTO. But I think I'm going to have to creep through with both pieces of equipment. I can't go fast. One of the comments was, you don't drive fast enough with the flail mower. I've been on a tractor since I was 8 years old, so that's about 50 years worth of tractor, and that doesn't make me an expert by any means, but I can tell when a tractor's bogging down and I have to just go slower. So when you see me go slower, it's because I can feel that I've got the tractor engaged as much with the material as I can without bogging down that diesel engine. That's a lot of grass, guys. That is a lot of grass. All right, guys, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 passes up and back with the brush hog. I did have to, on the second pass, it's really, really thick down there. I had to go and adjust the clutch, the slip clutch on there, because it was slipping. So I tightened it down all the way, and I didn't have any issues after that. But I had just run that clutch in a few minutes ago before we started. So that's to be expected. So that's no fault of the cutter. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but the brush cutter threw grass 30 feet that way when it could. So from one of these passes here, I've got fresh grass clippings all the way out to here. So it tried to disperse all of the clippings, but for the most part it couldn't. And this is what I expected. When you come out the back end of a brush hog, it tends to windrow the clippings. And then if it can't expel them quick enough, they ball up in there and then they come out in clumps. And that's what we have here. We have a lot of clumps, and you'd have to go over this a lot of times to get this cut up cleanly enough so that it would fall down to the ground and do some good and get some nutrients and nitrogen down to the soil. And we have full stems right here. There's no mulching. They got cut off or ripped off, and that's where they are. You could actually bale this. I could run the rake through here and get enough to bale, but it's not long like a drum mower or a sickle bar mower would do. But just look, I mean, there's a lot of clippings here. Now, it's going to be the same amount of grass and the same amount of clippings that the flail mower has to deal with, but I think it's going to deal with it differently, but I don't know. So let's talk about power. The tractor had no problem with it. Really, really sharp blades, a low hour brush hog, so there's not a lot of resistance or anything in the gearbox. There's not a lot of wear. And it handled it pretty good, but coming up this last pass, I don't know if it's thicker there or what, but my RPMs were dropping. I was going not as slow as I could go, but almost as slow as I could go. I couldn't go any faster. I'd lose 100 or 200 RPMs on the tractor. And usually when I'm brush hogging, I can just go as fast as I want. But I wanted to give the brush hog a chance to process the material, to cut it, and also not harm the tractor. It's hot out here. I don't want to overheat it. But that's the brush hog. Let us know what you think. Is it what you expected? Let me go hook the flail mower up. We'll do the other part with the flail mower. But to keep me honest, and so y'all won't question me, I'm going to put a flag there where the brush hog stopped. All right, guys, we've got the flail mower on. We're going to lower it down to the rear roller is on the ground. And watch this top link right here. We'll see that loosen up a little bit. And we'll know that it's in float mode. So as soon as that loosens up, right there. So with it set up like that, we're just going to run through here and let her eat and let you guys see the difference. But a shout out to cooltops.com. They provided this top for this Kubota tractor with the fan. 90-some degrees out here, and it's hot where I'm in the sun. When I'm underneath there with the fan blowing under me, feels real good. My wife is grimacing. She's the one who's filming right now. She's not under a cool top.
I'm not under a cool top. I'm under a hot top. Oh, she doesn't seem to like this. I know it's early and I'm no expert, but I can certainly see the difference. Yeah, that chopped it up much finer.
Okay guys, the results are in, and it's not good news for the flail mower. Now in the beginning, remember I said put the flail mower down and let it be in float mode? Well, the hammer blades are actually coming around and hitting the dirt, so it was slowing them down, so it didn't cut here real good. So we can take that out of the equation. You got to run it a little bit higher than that, I guess in the thick grass. I don't remember that happening when I was cutting dry grass in the back with the hammer blades, but that's what happened here. So then I raised it up. And when I raised it up, it looks pretty decent here. It chops up the clippings a lot more fine. You don't see as many long stringy ones, but there are some. And if we take this off and look at the actual cutting at the height, I'm probably, I don't know, right there on my hand, 4 inches or so. And in the brush hog, we'll put my hand down. So the height is comparable, 4 inches or so. The brush hog leaves it really stringy and clumpy. And the flail mower kind of lays out the clippings better. So the clippings are chopped up more, and you can just look at it. It's more finished mower. Now there's rooster tails left over there, or mohawks, as my wife Deb likes to say. But that's me. I should have overlapped a little more. But that looks better than that. And I would say that this will break down quicker. But, and Deb noticed it right away, said, what do you think? And she goes, well, it chops it up better. She goes, but your tractor was struggling. And she's exactly right. I would drop 400 RPMs or so, and I'd have to stop and let it clear. If it can't expel it out the back nice and evenly, as it's turning, it's shoving it up under the tractor. So then it's cutting it again. But I had to raise it because it was going to stall the tractor. And the brush hog, and Deb noticed it as well. She's like, the brush hog just really never slowed down the tractor, at least not audibly that she could hear. It was slowing it down about 100 RPM. But let's stop right here where the hammer blades right here, they couldn't handle this. They couldn't suck this up where the tire was, so they left a foot that they couldn't cut. So I had to work with it and clear it out. I lifted it up here and tried to get it to start again, and it was work. What I'm going to do next is hold the flail mower up higher, because I've done that before, and maybe cut it off to about here and then let that dry and then cut it down again. And that'll take all these clip-ins and make them smaller so they'll disperse. But taking it from 4 inches up here, taking out 18 inches of grass, the flail mower is failing. So over here, I came back over where the brush hog had done, just trying to clean this up. And now it had to cut the brush hog's clippings, which it did a good job of. It made that fluffy and just really cut into 2 to 4 inch pieces. But as I went down the row again with that, throwing it in front of the flail mower, and it got a big mound in front of the flail mower. When that big mound came into the mower, it almost stalled the tractor. So I was thinking, I can take the flail mower and fix what the brush hog did, but I can't do it quickly, and I can't do it consistently, meaning I can't keep the tractor at the same speed. Whereas a brush hog, I can just keep the tractor at the same speed. So I say for tall grass, the brush hog wins. That doesn't mean the flail mower doesn't have a place on our property. So what we've learned is we got to make a decision if we're going to hay or not, and if we're not going to hay, to keep the grass short. So here, absolutely perfect environment for the flail mower. We got 12 inches or so. It's not quite as thick, and it laid it all down. It cut it down to about 3 inches down there, and I got nice fine clippings here that will biodegrade a lot quicker. So this is where the flail mower excels, from I'd say 2 inches up to 12 inches or so. 18 to 24 inches, stay with the brush hog. So there you go. There's a no-nonsense test. I controlled as many factors as I could. I tried to have everything in perfect operating condition, and the tractor is the same tractor. The grass field is the same grass field, and you see the results. So leave a comment down below. Were you surprised like I was that the flail mower couldn't handle the tall grass? Were you surprised by the results of the brush hog? I'm really interested in your comments and what you thought coming into this video and what you think now, because it definitely has opened my eyes to the limitations of both of the mowers. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching. If you would, click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos. They're pretty cool too. Take care, guys.